Fellowship. And we have organized this session into 3 parts. Part 1, we will have our Virandeep Singh to have a chat session with the JDP boys, followed by part 2 at 6 o'clock, Commander Karu, and it will be hosted by Niroshan. And there'll be questions and answers, and there'll be a discussion, and there'll be a two-way thing between the boys and Commander Karu. And at 6:30 part 3, we will then move to the RSC cricket family group, and we will have a virtual fellowship session among us, and there will be some interesting events and programs that will take place. And I hope that this will end to be a memorable and exciting and value-added virtual session for RSC cricket section. So on that note, on part 1, I would like to invite Virandeep to start a session with the JDP boys. Over to you, Virandeep.
Okay, let me start. Good evening, everyone. So basically, I'll be hosting the session with Virandeep. So just some house rules first. If there's any questions, please be on mute. But if any questions, you can unmute yourself or you can key it in the chat as well. Okay, there's a chat button, so you can type it in, and then we can read out the questions to either Virandeep or to Karu later on. So with us, we are honored to have Virandeep Singh. I think Viran does not need much introduction. He has been very much part of the Royal Selangor Club, since his younger days. He is currently the national vice captain. Virandeep also was part of the RSC JDP program when he started. So similar to most of the boys in this session, he was one of you all before. Okay, he started with RSC and went up the ranks till now the national vice captain. At the same time, Virandeep holds a world record. He holds a national record as well, which we will talk about later on. So Virandeep, thanks for joining us and spending the time with the boys and the younger boys and also the not so young boys on this session.
Hi. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for having me.
So Viran, maybe you can share in terms of when actually did you start playing cricket, and what got you interested in the game?
Right, so it all started off at my school. My primary 6 years old at that time, and I actually joined my brother, Pamandeep, who also plays for the national team now, to join the school training. And at that time, the coach, his name was Munusami, and he was kind enough to allow me to be part of the school training, even though I was not in school at that time. You only start school at 7, but I was allowed to join school training at 6 when I was 6, and yeah, I think I'm really grateful for that. And from there, when I was 9, we got an invitation to join Royal Selangor Club, and I think we accepted that, and I think that was the best decision I ever made. Being part of a club like RSC, and I think from there I just grew, and the interest in the game grew as well. And yeah, I guess it was just progressive, and from then on, I'm proud to say today I play for the national team, and I think RSC has been key in my progress as a junior cricketer, and they keep, even until today, they do support me in many ways, and I'm really grateful for that.
Okay, so in terms of when you played for RSC, what was your most memorable game or event that you took part during your younger days at RSC?
To be honest, I don't really remember much. I think one thing that comes to my mind is that CAF tournament. I'm not sure if it was called CAF or YSD at the time, but it's the finals that we played against the Malaysian Malays, and we won that tournament. So I think we were considered as underdogs when we went to that tournament, but we somehow managed to beat the Malaysian Malays in the finals, and I think that probably is one of the most memorable matches or tournament that I've ever played with RSC.
Okay. So we have this photo of you, I think taken, when was this taken? Was it an RSC team or?
Yeah, I think this was a RSC team. This was in PJ Club.
It looked like it was
Yeah,
upstairs at the
I think it was an
PGA
indoor
club.
tournament. Yeah, I think it was that one. The indoor
Indoors nets upstairs at the
PJ Club.
PGA.
Yeah, that's right.
So
that's right.
I think the Dr. Vaiti tournament, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I guess that should be the one.
So can the people guess which is Virandeep in
Yeah,
the photo?
I was about to ask that question. You all look alike.
All cute looking.
I think Virandeep, you are the one on the right at the back.
That is
my brother.
Pavandeep.
Oh, with glasses.
That's your brother.
Yeah, that's my brother.
Oh, then you must be in the center, front row.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is the Viran, Pavan, and who are the other boys?
Nalim is there on my left.
Yes.
On my right, sorry.
Yep. Okay.
And I don't recall the other guys.
Okay. So this is another photo I think taken very young, and I think if you can share about this, where was this taken and what tournament?
Can you just close the door?
This was, I think we toured in 2011 to Bangalore, and Uncle Hector actually took this photo. I clearly remember that. And Uncle Hector's wife in that picture. Yeah, and he took this picture and he sent it to me recently, actually. This is my first time, my second time looking at this picture.
So 2011, you means you were about 12, right? And you were already touring India for a game.
Yeah, that's right. But I think this was part of the KLCS development program, which was really good. I think tours like that really help you grow as a player. Because at the end of the day, if you stay in Malaysia, only play, with your own people, you don't really learn much. So I think tours like these really did help me and help me grow as a player as well. And I'm really grateful for that.
Right. Okay. So Viran, I think you were the youngest player to have the record to make it into the national team at age 15 years and 308 days. Okay. So I just questioned the day that you made your debut for the national team. Were you aware that you were going to have break the record of being the youngest player?
No, honestly, I had no clue. I had no idea that was going to happen. But actually, it's a very, very funny story on how I made my debut, and I would like to share a little bit on that as well, if you don't mind. I think it was the 2015 ACC tournament in Dubai, and what happened was they had the selection games before that, and I made some runs, and I picked up some wickets as well. In the selection games, and from there I was selected in the 18, in the reserve 4. So I was not supposed to be on tour, but then one of our players, Anwar Jet, and then from there they they wanted to include me into the 14, but then again at the end they decided that they wanted to take another guy on tour. And to me at that time I was fine. I didn't really mind that, because I was really excited. I was only 15, and I was being part of the 18 was really a big thing for me. But and then somehow one of our players, when the team went on tour, they reached Dubai, and one of them had issues with the visa. And then from then on, I got a call and I was on tour. So it's a very I consider myself very lucky that happened. And of course, I had no idea that I was going to be the youngest. At that time, you don't even think about all of that. You just want to play cricket. You're happy that you're being given the opportunity to represent your country. And having played at that age, it's just icing on the cake. And I think it's an absolute honor to be holding that record. And I hope it gets broken soon.
Okay, maybe you can share. So you have played the national team for quite a few years now. What has been your most memorable innings with the national team? Which game or which innings of yours?
There's two that come to my mind when you talk about having, playing my best innings. The first one is, of course, the SEA Games in 2017 in the finals, where me and Ahmad Faiz, our captain, we had a 145 run partnership. We were 9 for 2, and then we were chasing 190 in a big finals. And when we got together and we had that partnership, I think that is something that really comes to mind, and it's a really special innings. But I think playing against higher ranked teams, I will have to mention the innings that I played against Netherlands in the recently concluded tri-series against, in Nepal. I made I think 87 in that game. We were chasing 190. And we got close. I think we made around 170 odd. We lost the game, but I think that innings is really special to me because it was a big game at the international level, and I really backed myself to perform at that level, and I think that is something that will stay me for a long time.
Okay, I think I've got the video of that game of your betting. Let's just play that for a while.
Over. Slower ball, picked immediately and smashed down the ground. What a shot that is. Long on, no, long off. Moved into the leg side. It's going to be back-to-back sixes. This one's sort of...
Quick runs here.
Oh, he went earlier. That's a great shot from Virandeep Singh. Wow. He's 71 off the final 5 to overhaul it. Pull from Virandeep. That's gone flat, and that's gone hard, and that's gone for 6. Switch hit. Plays it well. Gets it along the ground this time. 2 members. Goes straight this time, traditional, and that's going to be 4. Back-to-back boundaries for Virandeep Singh. Great start to the over. Oh, he goes to the other side. That's a good shot, actually. So that was the slower ball from Kingma. Far. Wow. He has connected with that. That is a big 6. Over to the...
In here.
Sure, that is a great shot as well. Off the back foot. Another 6 over the offside.
Wow. So, you really seem to be enjoying yourself, practically bullying the Dutch bowlers, right? I think even the RSC juniors get more respect. I haven't seen you hitting them, in RSC.
Yeah, no, I mean, just doing my job.
So I guess, was the bowling bad, or just that you were taking, you had to actually, there was a big target to chase?
Actually, when you're chasing one key, there's nothing to think about. All you have to do is just go in and play your shots. And we got, our coach gave us the license and said that, just go out and do it and see, if we can, chase the target down, because there's no point of, us going and just playing for the sake of, just surviving and getting close to the target. There's no point of that. And of course, we all had, we believe that we could achieve that target, and we could, win that game from that situation. But unfortunately, we fell short. But I guess I was just playing, just expressing myself, and I guess it just happened.
All right, having fun.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, almost there, but not there.
Yeah.
It would have been great if you had taken the game for Malaysia. I think that would have been a historical win for Malaysia. So I think from what we have seen, basically you're quite a power hitter, right? We can clearly see. Have you actually broken anything while betting? Car windscreen or RSC roof or?
No, not really. Not really. Broken some things at home, just playing some tennis ball cricket and stuff, but nothing much actually.
Okay, so you actually place your shots quite well.
I would like to think so.
So just a question, if you had not played cricket, right, do you think you would have taken any other sports competitively?
Maybe badminton. Because I have I am interested in badminton. I love playing badminton. I play a lot of badminton with you as well, Uncle, you should know. And I guess I would have probably taken badminton, seriously, if not for cricket. But I guess, I haven't really thought about that, to be honest with you. But I think if I had to pick a sport, it would be badminton.
Okay, great. So I think before I open up questions to the people in the group, we'll play a quick game, a rapid fire game where I'll ask a question or say a word, and you just give me an answer on top of your head. Okay? No need to think. There's no right
Yeah.
or wrong. Just tembak only, whatever comes.
Alright.
Okay. For example,
All right, let's go.
okay, let's go. Favorite fruit?
Fruit,
Yeah, fruit.
banana,
Favorite color? Who's your
blue,
biggest supporter?
my parents,
Favorite betting shot?
full shot.
Favorite Hindi actress?
Ooh.
Oh,
Deepika Padukone.
Favorite Malaysian cricketer, excluding yourself?
Ahmad Faiz.
Oh, not your brother. Huh? Okay.
And-
Favorite female international cricketer?
Oh, Smriti Mandana.
IPL team you would love to play for?
RCB.
Your dream car?
Audi TT.
Favorite cricket brand?
Kason Sport. You're
Wow.
gonna get me in trouble.
Okay, which bowler would you like to hit for a six?
You might want international bowler.
Yeah, international or even local, doesn't matter. Anyone. Amarjit Singh also
Local,
can.
definitely my brother. I always do that. Virandeep Singh or if international, I don't know, maybe Jasprit Bumrah or someone like that.
Okay. Favorite cricket oval in Malaysia?
Kinrara
Not
Oval.
RSC. Amarjit, take note.
No, wicket is flat in Kinrara.
Okay.
So
And I think the last one, your favorite superhero?
I have no idea. I don't follow.
You know?
I have no interest in superhero.
Okay.
But okay, I'll just pick one. Superman or
Okay, great. Thanks. So, okay, anyone has any questions, you can either put in the chat, or you can actually unmute and ask Virandeep. So the floor is open.
Yeah, your phone.
Hi Viren, Kartik here. I have a
yeah.
question.
Hi, Kat.
What
Hi, Kartik.
advice would you give to junior cricketers like under 16 cricketers or under 19 cricketers? What's the best advice you could give them?
I think one thing that comes to mind when it comes to giving advice is that I think I would tell every youngster to not focus too much on results and instead focus on the process. Because I believe every challenge that comes in life is part of your journey, and if you enjoy every single challenge that you face, you enjoy every single thing that is part of your process, and you keep winning that small things in life, you will really go far. Because I often see that youngsters, they get very upset and stuff like that when they're not able to perform. I mean, in the sense of scoring runs or taking wickets when it comes to cricket. But I think the focus should not be on the results, on the outcome of things. I think we should instead focus on the process. So for example, if you can only hit the ball, say you can only hit the ball 50 yards, now your focus should be on hitting the ball 70 yards, and if you have done that, you have won that challenge. So I think it's about breaking small into small challenges for yourself, and then that eventually I feel will help you achieve the results in the long run. So let's not focus too much on achieving results. Okay, it's not wrong having dreams. You need to have dreams, you need to dream big, but you need to also have the process to achieve that dream. And I think that is a very important aspect to be. We are very fragile. We get very emotional when we're not able to perform, or when things don't go our way in life. So I think that's something we should all focus on. Focus on the process. Trust the process. Trust that God has something big for you at the end of the day. And yeah, just keep believing in yourself and keep going. Just keep trying.
Okay, thanks.
You're welcome.
There's a question on the chat group from Rahul. Who was your cricketing idol when you were growing up and why?
I think my cricketing idols, they kept changing, in every phase of my life. Like for example, when I was a junior, I liked, at that time Virat Kohli is not a big thing yet. So of course, people like Sachin Tendulkar, I used to, love watching them play. But to be very honest with you, I only watched them because they were good. And I mean, we all know they were great players, right? But I only watched Sachin because of his batting skills. But I did not really understand and really go through what his process was. What are the things that he does off the field. I did not really understand that. So it was just a idol for for his shots. But now I follow somebody like Virat Kohli, and with social media and stuff like that. Now today we can really understand what they go through, in terms of fitness, what do they do, and then you can try to always follow their footsteps and give your best chance to succeed. So I think today I would say Virat Kohli, and it's because of his attitude, because of his his approach to the game, and he's extremely passionate, and I really like that of him, and I feel that he has really taken Indian cricket to the next step. And yeah, I think it has to be Virat Kohli for now. And not only because of the on-field reasons, because of his runs, but also because of what he does off the field. And I really respect that.
Okay. Another one from Rishabh. To what extent do you plan your innings? And how many times do you just go with the flow?
Look, I think the best innings that I've played in my life have all come when I've just gone with the flow. It's not about planning for me. Of course, I do, I have to analyze, to see what the situation is, what the game situation is. But I do not go too much into what the bowlers are trying to do and stuff like that, because I don't like to overcomplicate things. But what I do is I just focus on the situation and think about how I can help my team from that situation. So if there's a target in mind, how am I going to approach that? So I don't really plan too much. I just go in and I play according to situations. And I feel that I think it works for everyone as well. When you have a clear mind, when you're not thinking about too many things, that is when you play your best innings, and you don't even know at times how it happens. So I guess going with the flow is the best thing, and I hope that works for you as well.
From Praveen, what is your favorite country that you have toured?
Actually, I always wanted to play in Nepal. I always wanted to play in Nepal because of the crowd, because of the support that they have. The ground is always packed with with supporters when you play in Nepal. And recently we got a chance to play in Nepal, but we only got 2 games where they allowed the supporters to come in, and after due to COVID and stuff like that, they stopped them. So I think Nepal is a country which I really liked and I really enjoyed visiting and touring.
Right. So is it right to say that outside Malaysian, I think you have the biggest following in Nepal? Is it true?
Yeah, that's right. It's because of that under-16 finals, the ACC finals that we played, and Malaysia beat Nepal in 2012, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, in 2012. So it's because of that, actually.
Right. Okay, guys, any more questions? We have a few more minutes. You can unmute and ask the question as well.
Can I ask a question?
Hi, Uncle.
Hi. So Viran, this is a slightly different question I'm going to ask you. So you are a national cricketer. You are a big, you are a sort of a celebrity in this country. Okay. How do girls react to you when you are a part of the national cricket team and you are the vice captain? And be honest, huh? I can catch you otherwise. I catch you. Okay, first is
Hey,
question, or rather, let me make it slightly simpler for you. First of all, when you say that you are a national cricketer and a vice captain, I know football is very popular here, but when you say that you are a national cricketer and you are a vice captain, one of the youngest players, do they react to you differently? And when you what happens when you tell them that?
Look, firstly, I don't tell them that. I don't go around telling people that I play cricket. I've got this, whatever records that I've got. I don't tell people that. But yeah, look, to be very honest with you, Uncle, to be very honest with you, cricket is not as famous as football or any other sport in this country. So of course the attention is there. I'm not saying there's no attention at all, but it's not as much as people may think there is. So that's a very honest question. And that's a very honest answer. I mean, sorry.
Okay. Okay. Thanks.
Niroshan says you have to keep rejecting them.
No,
Yeah,
that's
I
what
think you were
Niroshan
waiting
had
for
to do when he was playing.
you were waiting for Deepika still.
Yeah, there's a question from.
Yeah, there's a question. Okay, what top qualities do you believe a professional cricketer should have to succeed?
Yeah, I think there are some things that I base my there's some things that I base myself upon as well. Some values that I like to follow, and some of them are like, I always believe that firstly, for a cricketer to succeed and stuff, I mean, for any cricketer, the belief in yourself is important. You need to keep believing in yourself, whether you fail or not. You need to have the belief that you can make it. And then it comes to discipline. And when it comes to discipline, I'm not talking about your timing discipline here, where you come on time, leave on time. No, but I'm talking about discipline in terms of following your routines, following on how, okay, if you have a plan, how often can you follow that plan? How successful are you in following your training plan, and how committed you are? And because at times you will have days where you don't want to do things, you don't want to work hard, you feel, I'm just lazy today. But how often can you switch those days and basically not have those kind of days? So I think those are some values that I look at, and I feel that I always force myself to apply those values to my life. And I feel that if I'm consistent enough with my routines, by following my routines, I feel that I can make it as a cricketer. And I feel that every international cricketer, even the top ones, I'm sure they do the same thing as well.
Okay, I think I'll take one last question from the chat group. From Sharvin, what adjustment did you have to make to transition from a junior cricketer to a senior cricketer at a very young age? So when you're 15, you were still considered junior, but you're already in the national senior team.
I think it's a very good question, because I can share a little bit on this. I actually learned a lot when I started going. And I played abroad. I played in the Singapore League. I think thanks to Coach Neville, he got me a stint there. And when I played in a league like that, I learned how to play in different conditions, in different wickets. And when you are a professional, you have a lot of people expect you to perform. When people expect you to perform, you basically they are paying you to perform. And if you do not do that, then you probably won't get a chance in the coming years. So I think that's something that I learned. I learned how to be a professional, and some of the things that I had to develop on my own is that when you're a junior cricketer, people they're not really bothered. But when you are a junior cricketer playing in the senior team, they start looking at you. People start looking at the way you, even the way you walk, the way you dress up, the way you do a lot of things. What your work ethic. They look at your work ethic. How hardworking you are. And how many balls do you hit at practice sessions and stuff like that. So I felt that is something that I had to change, and because playing senior cricket at a young age is not easy, but I had to adapt to the situation. And yeah, I guess I have to also say that the senior players were very nice and very welcoming, because they actually led the way for me. Especially I have to mention Ahmad Faiz, who was our captain, who is still our captain. And yeah, he really led the way by example. And I guess I just followed his footsteps.
Okay, thank you. I think we are up on time. So thank you very much, Viren, for sharing with the boys. I'm sure all of us will see you at RSC. So any further questions, you can always reach out to Viren once we are back on the field. So thanks once again, Virandeep. Over to you, Amajit.
Okay, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Surendran,
guys.
for
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Surendran, for hosting the program. And to you, Virandeep, an excellent chat with the boys and with us. Thank you so much. And we hope to see you more often on these programs and on the Padang. Now
You're
we're moving
welcome.
to part 2 of our fellowship session. And in our part 2, we will have our beloved Commander Karu Selvaratnam, who will come in and join the session, and he will share his experience, and he will even answer questions from all of us. And Niroshan De Silva will be hosting and will be taking us through the session. So over to you, Niro, in welcoming Commander Karu.
Hi everyone. I'll like to start by just thanking Uncle Karu for taking the time to speak with the boys and everyone in the section today. Most of the senior guys here know Uncle Karu as a sporting legend of Malaysia, but I think I'll just start with giving a brief introduction to the junior boys who perhaps may not know as much about Uncle Karu's achievements. So Uncle Karu was a double international who represented Malaysia in both athletics and cricket. He also captained the national cricket team. And among some of his achievements was that he held the national record of 52.7 seconds in the 400-meter hurdles, and this record stood for 25 years. He also, besides playing cricket and athletics, he's also a talented athlete in other sports as well. So he represented the armed forces in hockey and badminton. He also represented the Navy in boxing. And I think a unique achievement that he holds is that he participated in the Tokyo Olympics in 1964, representing Malaysia in athletics. So yeah, I'd just like to welcome Uncle Karu, and I'll start with asking Uncle Karu about how did he start playing cricket and how did he get into the sport?
Thank you, Niroshan. Welcome, everybody. To answer your first question, cricket was never in my sight when I was a schoolboy here. Purely by chance, our family, my father took us, the whole family, to Sri Lanka. Those days it's called Ceylon. Took us there to apparently my grandfather, my maternal grandfather was ailing, and he wanted to see all his grandchildren. So we went there during the school holidays, and but the old man didn't die. He kept on getting stronger day by day, and it went on for 3 years. He never died while we were there. So during that period, my father had to do something. He said, we can't keep these boys there. So he decided to leave us behind in Ceylon and educate us there. So he wanted a boarding school, and I couldn't get one in Colombo. He sent us to Kandy, to St. Anthony's College. And that's where we were, the three brothers, Naba, Kana, and myself, the youngest. I was then about 11 plus. That was the year we went, was 1950 December. 50 or 51. I think it's 51 December. So that's where I decided, in Ceylon, cricket is like a religion. And the college that I was in, there were some very prominent cricketers. And we used to play during what they call it, the recess time, interval time, 20 minutes interval, 10 o'clock or something like that. They have a league game going on in the field. See, so I joined a team called the Ramblers, and that's how I started playing cricket.
All right, thanks, Uncle Karu. I also came across a recent article on the Star that basically did a biography of your sporting life. And interesting point to note was that you started off as a water boy during your athletics time. So I wanted to ask, as someone who started off as a water boy who then graduated to become a decorated Olympian and held the national record, was it pure talent that took you there, or was there? I mean, of course, there was a lot of hard work, but what would you say were the biggest contributing factors to get you to where you ended up?
See, yeah, you are right. I was a water boy. In fact, athletics was never in my dream. But I used to be a very team man, very much a team man in school. Supporting sports on the sports day. I'm always there, helping out. With the t-shirts, with the drinks, collecting all the garbage around the tent. Which happens. My housemaster was a guy called, he's a late Mr. Rasa Durai. He was our housemaster. He was a para footballer, and he has got a few boys with him who are like Man Friday type of boys, who do all the odd work, do this, do that. He just calls us and hey, go and get that, hey, get this, So we just run and go and do this and do that. And I was one of them. I was doing that. And you see, what happened was my dear classmate friend Shanmuganathan, Muthutambi's son, was an 800-meter runner and also 4x400. And what happened was he pulled his muscle after running the 800. He was a member of the house 2x400 team. And that was the last race of the day. I'm getting an echo.
Yeah, can I just ask for whoever's not speaking to maybe just mute your microphones so the echo will go away?
All right. Okay, so what happened was I was somewhere picking paper and stuff, all the garbage, because the last event of the sports day, so I was clearing up together with the other boys. All I heard was, "Hey, Salva," he said. "Come here," he said. So I turned around and I could recognize the voice. So Rasa Durai. First I thought, let me pretend I didn't hear him. But then, the voice was very authoritative. So I had no choice but to look at him. He said, "Come here." So he just gave me the singlet, the blue singlet, Tago House, asked me to wear it and get ready to run the 4x4, 440 yards relay. Now, the ACS running track was a 200-meter track where you run twice. You see, and so you don't know how to do that. We all know about running the 400 meters in one single track, 400-meter track. This was a 200-meter track. So I just went in and they made me run. I was a second runner. I remember collecting the baton. And I think we were lying number 3 or something. I just got the baton and ran. And I followed the boys who were in front of me. I followed them for one lap, 200 meters. And then as I crossed the 200, going into the second lap, I found that I could overtake them and I could go faster, which I did. I overtook them and passed the baton to the third runner with a lead of almost about maybe 6, 7, 8 meters from being 6, 7 meters behind. So I think that probably caught the eye of the sports master. His name was Mr. Lee Hu Kiet. I still remember him. I don't know whether he's still alive. Some people tell me he's still alive in Ipoh. And he just went up to Mr. Rasadure and told him, "I want to see that boy on Monday morning." That's all he said. And that's the message was given to me by Rasa, and I told me the sports master wants to see you on Monday. And that's how it all started. So Monday morning, I was there in front. He told me, "I'm drafting you into the school relay team, 4x440. And then with them, I stayed, worked together and trained. And you asked me earlier, I think in sports, there is a percentage of so much that comes into play. You take young Virandeep. I think talent plays a part. Even you, Niroshan. Everyone is born with a certain amount of talent, you see, and it's how you develop your talent. If you don't do anything about it, it just stays there and diminishes. But if you can spot your own talent and you know you can do it, and you develop it, and then you graduate much faster into the next level. So I think I probably I had the talent and I worked on it.
Right. Thanks. Uncle Karu, also because you represented the country in both athletics as well as cricket, both are fairly technical sports. So was it hard to balance playing at the pinnacle or representing the country in both different disciplines?
Yeah, it is difficult. I mean, it's something that I would never encourage any other sportsman to do it. To try to do two sports. We did many silly things in our early days. We were not guided properly. I did too many events, for example. I ran the 400. I was primarily a 400-meter hurdler. I also ran the 400 meters flat. I held the national record for the 400 meters flat as well. And I ran the relay. Normally, one wouldn't do that. Today, you find only people doing maximum the 400 and the 400 relay. They won't do anything else. But it was difficult. Yes, it is very difficult. It became even more difficult when I left school and went to join the Navy in Woodlands. It was a lonely place. I was all by myself. There was no cricket nets. There was nothing. There was a padang. That's about all that there was. And you had to work on your own. It was pretty much a lonely road or lonely journey. And I had to travel all the way from Woodlands to the city area to Ceylon. I became a member of the Ceylon Sports Club and I played for them for 6-7 years. Take a bus and go there and play cricket. There were no nets for sure. I had no nets at all in Singapore. And that was the prime peak of my sports, both in athletics and in cricket. So it is, to answer your question, the answer is yes. It was difficult to juggle, but I did it.
Right. And did your training in either sport hinder or bolster your performance in the latter sport? Did it affect each other in any way?
To be honest, you see, let me be very honest now. I gave, when I discovered that I was a good athlete, I gave cricket second priority because track and field was taking me to places. I was traveling. You see, whereas when it came to cricket, I only played the interport matches which was against Singapore. I don't think I played the interport between 1960 and 1965. These 5 years, I don't think I played the interport game against Hong Kong. So the only travel going overseas was going to Singapore, from Ipoh to Singapore. That was in 1960. But athletics was taking me places. In 61, I went to Rangoon. 60, I went to Singapore. 61, I went to Rangoon. 62, I went to Jakarta twice, Asian Games and all that. Then 64, I went to Tokyo, and I was traveling places. And so I thought I might as well give that a bit of priority. And it required a lot of hard work. A lot of hard work. And you see, in cricket, I had no nets. There were no nets for me in my naval base. So it was straight into the game. Every time I played a league match in Singapore, it was just a practice and a match. No nets. So so again, yeah. So I gave priority to athletics.
Okay. And finally, before I open up questions to everyone else, just like to know, what was your most memorable match when you represented Malaysia playing cricket?
There were so many in my 5 years when I played in the Singapore League. You know, I never played in any other league. Earlier, in my peak, I was in Singapore and I was playing in the Singapore League year in and year after. I had some great moments when I was there. There were some memorable games, but it's now 60 years since I can't exactly remember, but I used to, if I I didn't get that. There were some memorable games, yes, but some of the games I remember were games that I have played well and yet lost for the club, Ceylon Sports Club. And there were games that I played where my score helped to win. Memorable, I would say when I was captain of Malaysia against Hong Kong, we were expected to lose that game, the way the game proceeded over the 3 days. But that 9th wicket stand, I think, between me and Tam Chiu Singh saved the day, and then the rain came, and I thought that was something I did for the country, and I was proud.
Right. Thank you, Uncle Karu. Now I'll open questions up to the floor. So if anyone has any questions, you can either unmute and ask, or just put it in the chat, and I'll ask on your behalf.
Does that unmute? Am I up? Can you hear my voice now?
Yes, Chris. Yes, I can see you as well.
Oh my goodness, that's a terrible thing. You mentioned during your training, right, that it was a bit lonely on your own in woodlands and so forth. And I know your love for animals. Can you tell us the story about training with your dog when you were training for the hurdles with your dog?
Yeah, that was in Johor. But when I was staying in Johor, I was already married to my dear wife, and we had a dog called Punky, and Ponchi or Punky, I can't remember. I had a few dogs, and this dog, when I reversed my car, I ran into it and broke its leg, and so when I was working in Woodlands, I used to come back from Woodlands. I reach home about 6:30 in the evening, but I needed to train for my athletics. So what I had a station wagon. I put my kids in the car and I put Punky in the boot. I drove all the way to Larkin Stadium, and the stadium was locked. It's locked around that time, closed. So I parked the car in the car park area, and I used the dog as my training partner. And this dog used to limp and run with me and follow me.
Sorry, Uncle Karu, I think you're on mute. You might need to unmute yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Thank you.
Sorry, Azhar, you didn't hear what I said all the while. So I had this dog and I took it to Larkin Stadium for training. It was limping, and I trained with the dog, or the dog joined me as my training partner for a few weeks. And it recovered, that broken leg got sorted out and became well, and it was running with me as my training partner. That answers the question, Chris?
Interesting story.
Pardon?
Very interesting.
Oh, thank you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. I can see you.
No, Karu, tell them about how what you did in training for your hurdles when it was raining in KD Malaya. Remember how you used to put out the chairs?
Is that you, Ashok, from Australia?
Yes.
Oh my God. Yes, the hurdles, you need to train the hurdles. So, like Ashok was right. What I do when I have a schedule. I didn't have a coach, but I had a schedule which I picked up from books, training books. And on days that the ground was wet because of the rain, it's dangerous to train on the hurdles because you could slip and fall and tear a muscle. So what I do is I take chairs and I stage them along the parade ground or in the drill shed. If there's no, if it's raining, I put it inside the drill shed, which is actually the armory, and I do my hurdles training on over the chairs. I had to, innovate ideas, think of ideas just to make sure that I complete my schedule of my training schedule. And that's why, it's the lonely, but it's hard work, it's hard work.
Thanks, Uncle Karu. I have a question here from Coach Neville,
Yeah.
who asked, during your time as a elite athlete, was there any interesting stories for you to share with your engagement with either the public or the media during your time as either representing Malaysia in cricket or in athletics?
Interesting meaning what? I don't know what.
No, basically he just wants to know if there are any stories that you can share during your time relating to engagements with the media or either with the public in general.
Funny stories or serious stories?
I think anything would do.
If you want to know a funny story, in the 1962 British Empire Games, that's what it was called the old days, before it was called Commonwealth later. In the British Empire Games, unknowingly, I went in to run the 4x400-meter relay, not realizing that when I left the games village, I didn't have my shorts on. I just had my bike underwear and my tracksuit. So after my warm-up, we had to, register for a 4x400. And when our country name was called, we went up. The four of us went up, and all of us were asked to take our stations. I stripped. I took off bent down and pulled my tracksuit down, and I heard a huge roar from the stadium. And I didn't realize what it was all about. And then I was told, "You haven't got your shorts on." Somebody told me. Then I realized that was the reason why the crowd, roared from the stands. But that was a funny story that we had to go looking for a pair of shorts. My manager got hold of a 6'6" athlete called Ken Roach. He was a 400-meter hurdler. Got his shorts. I put it on. Then we had to go and look for a lady with a pram who had a child. We had to borrow a safety pin, and I put that 6'6" fellow's shorts on, and rolled it up on my waist by using the safety pin, and I ran holding the shorts on one hand and the baton on the other hand. It was crazy.
Very interesting. We have some questions in the chat as well. So
Yeah.
there's a question from Karthik, who is asking, what are your thoughts on Malaysian cricket at the moment?
I think I was manager of the Malaysian team until 2009, and funny, Virandeep mentioned this boy Faiz. Faiz was then a young fellow. I think he was only about 17, 18 years old or 19 years old then. I saw him as a really classic batsman, top class batsman at that time. Faiz, I thought, if only he had played county cricket or something like that, or in some other test playing country, we would have been very good. We would have been able to develop him to a further level. If you ask me about Malaysian cricket, now we've got Faiz, we've got Virandeep, his brother, and I do not know the rest. I have been out of Malaysian cricket for a while, but I think the future is there. The future is definitely there. If we with good, with proper coaching and the right attitude. And I think if we get the administration, which is most important, people, right thinking people in the chair, we should have a. I think the future is there. I think there is a bright future.
Thank you.
Karu, I'd like to ask you a question. This Amarjit here.
Yeah.
And you did share, what was your first, how, can you just explain your first meeting when you met up with our late Milka Singh in Jakarta?
What is that? When I first met him.
When you first met Milka Singh, you shared with me a few days ago. So maybe share with the group.
That was actually a joke. I mentioned to you, people used to make jokes those days, but poor man, he's dead and gone, great fellow. You know, when he was there in the Asian Games, he was relaxing on the ground. So we were jogging and we passed by. So I asked him, relaxing, huh, Milka? He said, no, my name is, he said, I don't think I used his name Milka. I said, relaxing. He said, no, my name is Milka Singh. That's a joke that they used to pass around.
All right. Uncle Karu, there's another question here in the chat from Uncle Devendran, I think. What motivated you to balance both cricket and athletics?
Well, I don't know. It's not motivation. I was probably at that time, I was good in both. All right. I was a good hurdler. Like Virandeep said earlier to all of you, these young athletes and young cricketers, you have to believe in yourself. That's very important. Self-confidence is very important. Believe that you're good, and that's how you move ahead. So I knew I was good in cricket. I knew I was good. I was a good hurdler. And I continued playing cricket because I was doing well in the league, in the Singapore league. Almost every season, I used to score at least 1 or 2 hundreds, couple of 50s, take wickets. And I was a good fielder because of my speed in athletics. And I was very resourceful to the team that I was playing. So I liked playing cricket. I tell you, my first love was cricket. The only reason that I didn't give it much time was because it didn't give me much joy. You see, it didn't take me to places, at least through athletics. I went to see a few countries, you see, and I was able to run against top athletes around the world. You know, I was fortunate, for example, in my heats in the Olympics. I was with the co-record record holder of the world record, Salvatore Morale from Italy. He was in my heats. So that was great, running with him. So these were things that motivated me. So to answer Devendran's question, it was not actually a motivation, but I just kept going in both games and got selected both in cricket and in athletics for the country.
Thanks, Karu. I think we have time for maybe one more question, and I'll pick one.
Yes, Akesh.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. So, Commander, my question to you that I heard that you were a hurdler, and hurdler in my mind is technically the most difficult of the events when it comes to running track and field. How did you discover that you are a good hurdler, or why did you take up the hurdle as an event and not go for, let's say, if you're a good 400 runner, why did you take up the 800 or the 200?
There was an American coach by the name of Tom Rosendich, and you all might remember Jesse Owens too. When I was in school, Jesse Owens came to give a talk. He spoke to us in the Wesley Church, I remember, in 1956. He spoke to us about, and he was a motivational talk, and, but he was a sprinter, 100, 200. Then what happened was, I was already in the school team, relay team, and in the 400. And when Tom Rosendich, an American coach, came by, he was visiting the whole of Malaysia, visiting states, spending 2-3 days, 2-3 days. He came to our school and spent a couple of days. And he saw me, at the high jump pit. I was doing high jump. Yeah, I was doing the high jump. And earlier on, I was doing the 400. I was running, the 400, and then he saw me in the high jump pit the next day. Then he looked at me and he said, he gave a talk and he said, I find very few hurdlers in this country. And I've been to few schools and I still can't find a hurdler, even in ACS Ipoh. So he said, he looked at me, he asked me, he said, boy, come here. He said, are you the one who runs the 400 meters, 440 yards? I said, yes. He said, yeah. And then he said, were you in the long high jump pit this evening? I said, yes. That means, he said, you have got this, it is possible to convert you as a hurdler, he said, So I said, I leave it to you. And that's how it all started. He took me to the hurdles, and then on the third day, he just grilled me about on the hurdles for about half an hour. And he said, I have it. Why don't you do this? So he said, because of my height, I believe at that time I was about 5'8", probably shrunk now. So he told me I'm not tall enough for the 110 hurdles. Told me to go for the 400 hurdles since you're a 400-meter runner. Blah, blah, blah. So that's how the following year, in 1957, I got converted into a hurdler.
A very interesting story.
Thank you.
Jesse Owens, links to Jesse Owens. Wow.
Yeah. He was an inspiring man, really. Honestly, he was great. I heard his story, how he used to train with horses. His training partners used to be horses. And my training partner were dogs.
All right. Thanks, Uncle Karu. I think we'll end the Q&A here. And just on behalf of the RSC section, as well as the JDP boys, I'd like to say thanks for taking the time out to answer a few questions and share your wealth of knowledge. And I think I'll pass it back to Uncle Amajit now. Thank you, Uncle.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much, Niroshan, for hosting an excellent part 2 program. And thank you again to Karu for sharing your experience, and it was an excellent chat. And now, guys, we are moving to our final part, which is the part 3. And this is going to be the fellowship with our RSC family group. And to take us through this, I would like to invite Devendran, who will be joining in and will be taking us through this program right to the end. Over to you, Devendran.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Loud and clear.
Hi, Karu.
Hi, Devendran.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can see you, and I can see somebody else there. Is it Dr. Arun?
Can
Must
you
be
see my
drinking
screen
again,
as well,
Karu.
guys?
Mysterian.
Can you see my screen as well?
Ooh,
Yes, yes.
me. Yes, I can see you.
Oh no, my screen with the presentation.
No.
No.
Now it just came and went.
Okay. So okay, good evening and welcome everyone, friends of Karu. We've got friends from quite a lot of places, Navy friends. We've got friends from Australia, and we've got also the Silver State gang here, some guys from Perak Cricket. So Karu, the serious stuff is over. We're going to have a bit more fun. The reason, I guess, many may not be aware, I was asked to MC this show was because I think, I don't know, many were saying this, Karu, I didn't say this. We are the only 2 sportsmen and administrator combined who have played cricket and administered the game to the highest level.
Yeah, I think so. I think you're right.
Yeah, because I don't think anyone comes close. They either played cricket to a high level, or they did not do anything for Malaysian cricket. But both of us, we did quite a bit for the state, for MCA. So I guess that gives me that advantage. But more than that, everyone, if you see the photo, if you see the screen, that's Karu's dad. That's Karu's dad on the left, and I grew up. My family knew Karu. That's his home in Manjoy, in Ipoh, and I know it was a place that my parents enjoyed going, and I got to know Karu's both, dad and mom way before Karu. But Karu, we all are here today, to just spend this lovely evening, and I'm not going to go through all your statistics, but a few things actually came to mind. You played cricket for the most number of states, for Perak, for Sabah, for Johor, and also the armed forces.
And Vilaya.
Correct. And the reason you moved around states, were you dropped from playing from some of these places, or what happened?
No, having been you're a government servant, so I was in the armed forces, in the Navy. So as a naval officer, I got posted around.
Okay. No, because some of the members were saying you probably got dropped, so you went to the other state to play.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, also. So, gentlemen, I forgot to tell you, there are also some prizes tonight. So there is a chat box. I'm going to ask question, and the first question, which was shared just now, and not from the organizers, what was Karu's national record, which he held for 25 years? The first person to get it right, my brother Suren will announce the winner afterwards. Okay.
Dave, family members also can answer.
Family members, you will be donating the prizes. You are one of them who's donating the prizes.
Yeah, okay lah. Might as well win the prize myself then, right?
Okay, so and if you have also any questions you'd like to pose, please post it here in the chat group that I could ask. But Karu, a few more questions which some of the guys also had asked me. In fact, what was interesting was Ashok. When I reached out to Ashok, Ashok said, you must play Karu's favorite song. And Karu, what was your favorite song known to the boys in the army?
You're my one and only one.
No. According to Ashok, it was, oh Lord, it's hard to be humble. So I said we could play
that was after a couple of nectars,
Yeah. So another thing, Karu, one of the things I read was, they said you suffered frustration in 1960 when you lost the place for the Rome Olympics because of the OCM. The Olympic Council did not have sufficient funds to send the fourth athlete. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. They at the last final meeting, which apparently was just about 2 weeks prior to travel, going on board. I was told as we in the morning, I came down from we were staying in Majestic Hotel.
Was Tengku the OCM president then?
No. That time it was, I think it was I do not know who, but I know the secretary was Tong Ponian, the late Tong Ponian. I can't remember who the OCM president was. Could have been Tun Razak or what, I don't know. Anyway, I came down in the morning. We were about to go for training, and then I was told to stop. The other three went forward, and I was told by Mr. Tong Ponian, I'm sorry, we haven't got money to spend 4. We picked only 3, and OCM decided that you are dropped, and that was it. You see.
Okay, Karu, but I think looking at what you have achieved, you played the most number of sports, and in fact, in one of the articles, they said few sports people show elite talent in more than one discipline. And what you actually have done was electrifying. Those was the words of, I believe it was Frankie De Cruz in one of his articles. But you played hockey, football, golf, and you also did boxing.
Yeah.
Did you jab anyone outside the ring in your work at work or
No, I never did but I went to stop a fight and I got knocked out.
Was that Bhupinder Singh?
I went to stop a fight, a brawl. Those days I don't, when I in my athletics and sports day, cricket days, I never drank, never smoked. I was, so I went to stop a brawl between two fellows who were drunk. And when I went in to separate the guys, one of the punches that the guy threw hit me smack on my face and I got knocked out. But I never hit anybody.
Okay, but that was also not very nice of Bhupinder.
Oh, Bhupinder.
Was that him?
No, this was in the Navy.
Oh, in the Navy time, okay. Because you were often breaking up fights of Bhupinder, we were told as youngsters. Karu, who would you rate? How would you rate yourself? More a bowler, a batsman, an all-rounder? Because for me, I say I'm a fielder. What about you?
I would consider myself a batsman all-rounder, more bat, because I started off being an opening batsman for the country and a part-time off spinner. Then I took up. When I used to play for states, the states required more bowlers. So then, that I added it on and then became an all-rounder, but more as a batting all-rounder.
Karu, who would you rate your all-time top 3 cricketers in Malaysia, past and present?
Wow, might hurt a few, but I got to be frank. I think the names that I have mentioned before, I will always stay with that. In the past, I think were Banerjee and Mike Shepardson. And present day, you see, when I was there as manager, it was Faiz playing. I hadn't seen Virandeep, but I believe today I'm a level that is quite close to maybe even county level. So he could, I do not know. So I can't name. The only one I can name in the present is Faiz, because I haven't seen Virandeep at his peak.
Okay, thank you. Any questions, Neville, Suren, from the chat group? Any questions posed so far? If not, Karu, you played so many sports, but why were you so passionate about playing all these games at that time, Karu? Or throughout at the peak when you're playing so many different games? What was the driving force behind that?
No, those days, you see, there was no such thing as cricket throughout the calendar from January to January. You see, it was all played. It was very seasonal those days. Cricket was from about March to about maybe September. Then it stopped. There was no more cricket after that. Then there was other sports. And track and field started also around April and ended in September. So these two sports, more or less, the seasons were quite very much the same. And then you see, after that, you hung up your spikes for the year, and you hung up your boots as well. So you can't keep idle. Then your fitness level drops. Right. So in order to avoid that, I started playing other games like I took up boxing, I took up hockey, and tennis and rugby, football, everything else, whatever I could, get myself involved in to keep myself going and fit all the while.
Karu, which of these were your favorite sport? Which was your favorite sport?
My favorite sport, no doubt, was cricket.
And if I ask Rohini, which sport would you have loved to see Karu play to an even higher level? Is Rohini beside you?
Yeah, there she is.
Hi, Rohini.
I did. You asking me all these private questions how to answer?
No, when you were dating Karu, when he was a water boy in ACS, which game over the years we would have loved to have seen him play, maybe put a bit more effort and drop one or two others?
He said tennis. He said tennis.
I don't know.
Not
And good as is enough already. Too much time spent on sports already.
Karu, anyone has got anything to ask Karu? I don't want to deprive anyone. Sita, you were saying, how are you, Sita, in Melbourne?
Okay, good. No, but I would love to see Karu play tennis, lah.
Right.
Hey, he plays left hand and right hand, okay?
Oh.
So if you play tennis with him also, he squash also, he will still beat you, okay? So he can switch hands.
That's it.
Karu, in terms of, you're still a long way for your century in terms of age. What do you see yourself accomplishing in the next, I don't know, 5 to 10 years now?
5 to 10 years.
I'm talking to you like a young man, you know.
Yeah.
What have you got going?
Well, there's only one sport I play now, and that's golf. And that too with MCO now, we haven't played for more than a month, nearly 2 months since I played golf. And the other things, I keep myself very busy doing my gardening. Can't get a gardener to come in now because they can't come to do any work in any house. So I have to I can't do the grass cutting as such because I don't have a machine to cut. But I do all the other heavy pruning, and keep myself fit that way. I walk in the mornings. I walk about an average of between 2.5 to 3 kilometers every morning. Not every morning, maybe 3 times a week.
Right.
Son-in-law to come and help you, Karu.
Satish, how are you?
I'm okay. I'm good.
There's a question from Karthik. I don't know if it's junior or senior Karthik.
From me. This is from me, Karthik Chintamani.
Oh, Chintamani.
Hi, Karthik. How are you?
Karthik, over to you, Karthik. Over to you.
No, my question was cricket-based. Since you said it was your favorite sport, my question was, what was the toughest spell of bowling you ever faced? And what were the conditions and how did you cope?
Wow. One game I played against Singapore. The first game, Malaya versus Singapore, 1960. There was a West Indian bowler. You know, those days in Singapore, we get a lot of foreign troops services playing in Singapore. You get, the Air Force, the British Air Force, the British Army, the British Navy. So the Royal Air Force in Singapore had about three arms. They had RAF Seletar, RAF Changi, and three. And there was this guy called Colin Jeffers. He was a West Indian who looked very much like Malcolm Marshall. And I was opening the batting in 1960. I opened the batting with the president of the Perak Municipal Council, a guy called Jeffrey Walker. He and I opened the batting, and Colin Jeffers was opening the bowling. And those days we had no tie guard except for the front, the what guard, the private part guard. We had nothing else. We had no elbow guard, no helmet, nothing. And this guy was bowling. I would think he was so, I would put him as quick. And he was hitting me on my left thigh time and again every over. And that was grueling. I had to dig in, stay, and stubborn. I was stubborn. And I stayed there. And, I think I made about 25 runs.
Sorry about you.
No, I'm okay.
Wow.
It
Thanks.
was
Yeah.
it was quite a it was it was something. It was a bruising. I know I had really bad bruising from Colin Jefferson. I won't forget that those few overs that I faced.
There's a question from Tang, your ex-Navy colleague. Understand you are also a good golfer. With your talent, you should have been playing with the Asian Tour. Why didn't you take up this game seriously in your younger days?
Who's this?
From Tang.
Tang. Oh, Tang is a cricketer actually. Fast bowler. He played for the Navy and the Armed Forces. No, like there's too many. It was too much for me to handle. As like I mentioned, we were not guided properly, like Dave. I played a lot of sports because I loved sports. Anything I could lay my hands on, I played. And if I could play and enjoy the game, I did that. But to take it to the higher levels, I think the involvement and the sacrifice is too great, and I couldn't afford that.
Thank you. Thanks, Karu.
Can you hear me? I don't know whether you can.
Yes, Chris, I can hear you. I can see you and I can see Ambi.
Tell me, your life in the Navy as a career enabled you to take part in all these sports. Not everybody had that opportunity. Was a military background something that was good for those people who are sports oriented?
No, you see, in the earlier days in the Navy, I was not given that sort of green light. I remember I almost missed the 1962 Asian Games because the centralized training had started. I was called, but I was not told. And I was in Woodlands. We had no newspapers to read, and I didn't know what was going on. And that year, there were two of us in the Navy who were one was Virandeep, the sprinter, and me in the 400. And what happened was one morning, we were in 1962, we were working on the British aircraft carrier, HMS Ark Royal. Both of us. He was an electrical apprentice, I was a mechanical apprentice. And we were with our foreman, we were deep down in the aircraft carrier, about a couple of decks below, working. And there was the PA system suddenly went in the morning about 9 o'clock, saying that they wanted Selvaratnam, apprentice Selvaratnam and apprentice Virandeep to come up to the quarterdeck. So I heard that pipe, but I didn't know what to do, where to go, because it was a huge. An aircraft carrier is like a maze. You are in there, you're lost. It's so big and huge. So finally, I got up. We found our way. The foreman allowed me to go, and I reached up there. About 15 minutes later, I was on the quarterdeck. And then the guy there, the Royal Navy sailor boy, who was at the quarterdeck, told me there's a Land Rover waiting for you on the jetty.
Yes.
And we all went down. BG and I went to the quarterdeck. The Land Rover was there. The driver was there. We asked the driver, what is it all about? Are we being court-martialed for something? Why are we taken back? Driver didn't know anything. And, we arrived and then we were told, pack your bags. Apparently, then, I don't know whether you all remember a minister by the name of Ghazali Shafi. Tan Sri Ghazali Shafi, he was the president of the Malaysian Athletics. He had apparently rung up the Chief of Navy and told that he wanted both of us. So the Navy then flew us down from RAF Changi. We flew down to KL. Those days the airport was in Sungai Busy, not even Subang, 1962. We landed in Sungai Busy, and that's how we went to the Asian Games. To answer your question, it was not that we had the time. We were not given the time. But after that incident, I think the Navy realized that I was that was required by the country to represent the country, and so they gave me a bit of time, a bit of leeway, so to speak.
Anyone has got a question for Karu? Something you've wanted to do online, not face to face? If not, Karu, I would like to invite Tengku. Tengku, are you there, Tengku?
Yes, I'm here. Hi, everybody. Karu.
Yes,
you don't look a day over 50 years old, by the way.
Thank you very much for saying that. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Anyway, you've had such a fantastically wonderful life, I must say. I think it's so obvious that you enjoyed your school days, you've enjoyed your career in the Navy, and even today, I think you're one of the most popular ex-officers in the Navy, because sometimes I see you guys meeting sometimes in the Oval or before, with even your first boss, Tan Sri Singh.
Yeah.
So I think that you obviously enjoyed your life, and also, I mean, your distinguished career as a sportsman, I think, is really exemplary. I mean, one is you're I don't know whether you were clever, but I think you're very clever. But man, I mean, to choose 400-meter hurdles as your discipline, that's one of the hardest things you can do in athletics. But you did it. And, being there in Tokyo, representing Malaysia, both in the 4x400 meters, as well as the 400 meters hurdles, really puts you, in the Malaysian history books as one of the great athletes. And of course, your 25-year-old record. I mean, that's something I think very few people can beat. Jaga, Tan Sri Jaga, I think can't beat that either. Yeah. And I think in athletics, I'd certainly put you up there with Jaga as, two of our best athletes ever. So, on that, I think that's a wonderful attribute that we can give you. But also, I think that you mentioned Tom Rosendich.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I knew him very well later when he founded the United States Sports Academy.
That's right.
And
correct.
so,
correct.
yeah.
Let's go. Ball is empty. Come. Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that athletics, and then of course in cricket, I mean I mean that one is a sport we all know your record in cricket. We've heard it just now, and we all know how. What a fighter you are on the field, and a cool temperament. But what I really like to say is that, and not enough was said just now, is really your service in the Malaysian Cricket Association as a secretary in over so many years. I must thank you, or maybe blame you, for getting me involved in MCA, if you remember how we did it. But that's another story.
Yes.
You as part of the MCA team, then, I mean, I think we really put back the cricket on the map, because I think it, by a lot of people in the country. So I'd like to thank you for that, personally, and being really my right-hand man in MCA for such a long time.
I think cricket owes you a lot.
Thank you. But that's
coming into it.
Nice about you, not about me. And also, I just like to mention to everyone that Karu is actually the founder president of the Malaysian Olympians Association. He got together all the Olympians in order to form an association. And I think, that's, you mentioned what are you going to do in the next 5-10 years? Maybe that's an area I think you can, use your your efforts to bring back up and really help the ex-Olympians. And also, of course, you brought up you have a wonderful family. I hope Sean is listening to this in New Zealand, because because we forget about young Sean, but I think most of you or some of you don't know that he's doing very well in New Zealand, still in the police force, I believe. Yeah. And he had a wonderful commendation letter a couple of years ago, 3 or 4 years ago, from the chief, the commissioner for police, on one of his great services to the New Zealand force. And of course, Rohan, we all know about and his exploits. I think that it is almost time to really wish you properly from the section for achieving this great milestone of 80 years old on the 28th of January. And maybe everybody, we should get our, I also said resident musician, but unfortunately he's not resident here in KL, but hopefully he's here in this group to maybe start the birthday song for Karu. How's about that?
Yes, over to you,
there?
Karthik.
Are you there, Karthik?
I am here, and here's my trusty 6-string. So this is to wish you many happy returns of the day. And I was asked to sing a birthday song, so I'm going to sing that. So here we go. Join me if you can. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Karu. Happy birthday to you. There we go.
I didn't know there was a birthday cake being organized. My goodness. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Tunku, for your wonderful citations, if I may say. Thank you very much for all that you said. And thank you, members of the section, for being here together to welcome me in my talk, as well as to celebrate my 80th birthday. I hope I live long enough to enjoy this session. And I would like to also especially thank our convener, Amarjit, personally, to say that you are doing a wonderful job. You have been doing a wonderful job. Keep it going, and let's all enjoy this session that we have organized to have a chat with each other. And this forum, I think, is one of the finest chat groups that we have, and I'm enjoying it, being part of it. Thank you, Devan, for hosting, Hiroshan, Amarjit, and Tunku, and all of you.
Karu, it's not over yet, Karu.
Oh, I thought
it's not over yet. It's not over yet.
So firstly, please cut at least one sector of that cake and put it aside. Tomorrow morning, I'll be driving by at about...
Yo, David, very
so please put it aside. Secondly, we've got some presentation, some well-wishers from abroad who have sent some messages and video. So glue on to
Maybe
the...
you should blow the candle first, Dave.
Oh, okay. Blow the candle first. Happy birthday, Karu, from all of us.
Happy birthday, Karu.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Karu. Happy birthday.
Yeah.
So over to Suren, who's got all the messages and some video recordings from some of them who idol you, all your friends.
Oh, that's the latest, is it?
Oh, these are some photos which were are put together, but they were not shown just now. But that's contribution from Ashok. Most of your Navy boys.
Yes, all Navy, yeah.
Yes.
Lags. And,
Fantastic.
and the team that won the Freddie Ferguson six-a-side.
The team that won the Freddie Ferguson six-a-side, according to Ashok.
That's a late Paul King there.
Thank you, Ashok, for that photo.
Ashok is there, and Teng, the one who asked me a question on golf, he's there as well.
First time the history of the Malayan archipelago that one Maltan is so indebted to a contact. Now everyone is aware of the old saying, if at first you don't succeed, then you try.
There's Paul Kong there, Uncle.
Well, is the recording going?
Yeah, sorry, Suren, maybe, gentlemen, there is actually a recording of Ashok. Can we play that again? Maybe we can be silent as well.
Can we mute everybody else?
Yes, please.
Mute.
Mr. Karu, Selvaratnam. Here's wishing you a very happy 80th birthday. I hope you have a great year and that you take the time to sit back, relax, and enjoy the accolades that you richly deserve. I will always remember you as my 50-year-old commanding officer who taught me so much about life and living in the current world, and along the way did impart some cricket knowledge to me. For that, I'm very thankful, and this must be the first time in the history of the Malayan archipelago that one Malayaltan is so indebted to a kotte. Now everyone is aware of the old saying, if at first you don't succeed, then you try and try again. Well, Karu has put a new twist to it. The new saying now is, if at first you don't get him out bowling with your right hand, then you bowl with your left. Thank you so much, Karu. Have a good day and enjoy the rest of the year. Tuan.
Hi Karu, would like to wish you a many happy returns of the day. It gives me immense pleasure and I take a lot of pride in wishing you on this special day. It's your 80th birthday. I just hope that you'll have a great day with your family, friends, and I just want to say that I've been told a lot about you, and it gives me a lot of pride to wish you on this birthday. Have a good one. Take care.
Hi Karu, I would like to wish you happy 80th birthday. You will celebrate with your family, friends. You have done extremely well in your life. You have inspired a lot of sports personalities. I hope you will have a wonderful day. Wish you all the very best to you.
So this is a message from Bandhu Karu. He's out of Colombo in the countryside. He sent us a message. Dear Karu, I hear that you are 80 not out in cricket field and 80 meters in athletics with 20 meters to go in running and 30 meters to go in hurdling. I wish you to achieve all these from Sri Lanka, and heads off and appreciate all what you have done and contributed to sports, especially to cricket. From Bandula, Varnapura.
Hey Karu, it's John T. Rhodes here. Previously from South Africa, now with Sweden. Just want to wish you a very happy birthday and congratulations on this very special occasion. But more importantly, just to thank you for your incredible contribution to this fantastic game that we all love. It's in really good shape right now, but I know a lot of hard work went unrewarded for so many years. And the pioneers of administration and putting in effort and sacrifice. People like yourselves, we greatly appreciate it. So keep it up. I know you still got a way to go before you raise your bat. So eye on the ball, stay focused, and just knock it in the gap and run the ones hard.
Good evening, everyone. I consider it as an honor and a privilege to do a video for someone of the caliber of Karu. Karu was a good friend of my father's, and also he's known to my first coach, Mr. Nelson Mendes. I was told by Deva that they will be organizing an event to felicitate Karu for what he has achieved in life. Karu, you have left a lasting impression by representing your country in so many different sports and also going on to captain a couple, not only on the sporting field but off the field. But I am sure the experience that you got on the sporting field would have helped you to face those challenges off field as well. I was told by my first coach, Mr. Nelson Mendes, that once I reached the half century, I should take guard and start the innings by taking singles until I reach the next milestone of 100 or reaching the century. I'm sure you would have been doing that, and I wish you all the strength and courage to keep taking those singles until I wish you peace of mind, happiness, and good health. May you be blessed.
So thank you, Karu. We've got a song to end this session, but everyone and held in such high esteem by all of us here in this cricket section and friends from abroad. And thank you so much for your time, Karu. Anything that you like to say, Karu?
I'm totally surprised by the organization. That this is, I thought it was a simple chat. I think Devendran, you must be hugely responsible for this. I know your capabilities.
I told you, Karu, we are two of the only, highest administrator and cricketer.
Hello, Oda. Hello.
Yeah.
Tell you, Scotty boy, anytime you got a chance, you can say all this.
Don't forget me, Dev.
Yes, yes.
And Tunku, yes. No, I'm talking Kotte boys, Tunku.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, Dave. I know you did, you have done a lot, and I must also especially thank Amarjit for having organized this. And I think it was a wonderful. It has been, so special up to this point. I really enjoyed it, and I'm only hoping that one day we can meet physically at our oval, the RSC cricket ground, and have our nectar each other. I see Henry Tennisfield there.
Cheers to that.
All these big names.
So
I think it's about time the convener sang us a song. I've never heard him sing.
I would certainly do that. I'll sing a song. I'll do anything you want. I love being in a crowd and enjoying the session.
Karu, certainly kudos to Amarjit, my brother Suren, Neville, Niroshan, Rohan as well. Thank you, everyone. But I think over to you, Amarjit. Amarjit has been the driving force behind the section, going beyond what anyone would be doing at this point of time. And certainly something we enjoy. Making the most use of our time and engaging with all of you in our section in some way or other. Amajit, over to you, Amajit.
Thank you, Devendran. Thank you, Karu. And like I said earlier in my message, cricket, RSC cricket is always alive, on the padang and off the padang, and will always be alive, and we will enjoy it. And that's why I wanted to do this, that we all are together. Tunku, thank you so much for your time.
My
Thank you
pleasure.
to everyone that has contributed to this. And we wanted all of us to get together. I'm having my third whiskey. Anyway, and I think it's been a brilliant with the junior boys, with the seniors, and as much we can get, technology and all that. Thank you, Devendran. Thank you, Rohan. Thank you, Surendran, Neville, Niroshan, Virandeep, for helping to get this done together. We'll have many more. And we hope that this whole pandemic will be over. We'll be in a padang. We'll have the first home and home match, and we'll have a good fellowship nectar by the poolside, and we'll party. On that note, Karu, the section wants to contribute this song to you. And we'll end the evening with this song for you. Suren, over to you.
Surangani, Surangani ke malu kenapa? Malu, 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 dan kenapa malu? Surangani ke malu kenapa? Surangani, Surangani, Surangani ke malu kenapa? Malu, 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 dan kenapa malu? Surangani ke malu kenapa? காசு வேணும் என்று நானும் ஓடி திரிகிறேன், காதலிக்க நேரமின்றி வீணி ஒடிக்கிறேன், பார்க்க வேண்டும் பொம்பிளையை என்று நினைக்கிறேன், பக்கம் வந்தால் பயத்தில் நாம் விப்பி அடிக்கிறேன். பக்கத்து வீட்டு பாலாவுக்கு 2ஆம் கல்யாணம், அதை பார்க்கும் போது பத்தி எரியுதெந்த நுள்மனம், அதை யார வைக்க குடித்து நானும் சத்தி எடுக்கையில் அவிழ்ந்து விழுத சாரம் வந்து கட்டகள் சுராங்கனி Surangani, Surangani ke malu kenapa? Malu, 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 dan kenapa malu? Surangani ke malu kenapa? சின்ன சின்ன ஆசைகளை செய்து கொள்ளாமல் சினுங்கி சினுங்கி அழுது கொண்டே சிரித்து செல்கிறேன். வந்து செல்லும் நண்பர்களோ என்னை புகழுதா, வேறு படிகள் இன்றி தலையை தடவி நானும் சிரிக்கிறேன். வாட்ஸ்அப்பிலும் மெசஞ்சரிலும் பேசி துளைக்கிறேன், காதல் மோஜியை நான் கண்டவுடன் துள்ளி குதிக்கிறேன். பட்டு பட்டு என்று நானும் பதிலை அனுப்பினேன், என் படத்தை பார்த்து அண்ணா என்றால் நான் என்ன செய்வேன்? சுராங்கனி, சுராங்கனி, Surangani ke malu kenapa? Malu, 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 dan kenapa malu? Surangani ke malu kenapa? Surangani, Surangani, Surangani ke malu kenapa? Malu, 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 dan kenapa malu? Surangani ke malu kenapa?
Can we
Let's
all
have a group
have
photograph,
our
please.
videos on, please, so we can take a group photo? Suren
Let's
will
have a group photograph.
Suren will just do a bit of screenshots. Edwin, you're missing. Come into the picture. Where's Edwin? I don't see Edwin. Jared Lopez, welcome.
Where's Jared?
Jared Lopez, Charlie, Ananda, Mahinda. Is this Mahinda
Nice
from
to see Murali here. Thank you, Murali.
Benjamin? Ben, is that Mahinda from Ipoh?
Ruben Mathiornam.
Mati Suran Bangladesh Suran.
A question, guys, that Ruben Mathiavarnam, is he the son of the Mathiavarnam in Johor Bahru?
Yes, of course.
Oh, wow. That's a blast from the past, man.
Yeah.
Hi,
Jared
Charlie.
Lopez.
Where's Jared?
Hi, Karu.
Hi,
You're
Jared.
on mute, Jared.
Where's
Jared,
Jared?
muted. Unmuted. Unmute, Jared.
Hi guys. Happy
Hi,
birthday,
buddy.
Uncle Karu.
Where?
Hi, Karu.
Oh, hi, Jared.
How are you, Uncle? Hi, Auntie.
Hi.
Edwin Sia, how are you?
Yes, Edwin Sia lah.
Hi, Ashok. We see you for a long time.
Wow. It's been a long time,
Annabelle,
isn't it?
Henry,
He's not there. He's simply putting a photograph there.
Mr. Mahinda. How are you, sir?
Hello. Hi, Karu.
Hi, Minda.
Happy
Hey,
birthday.
Mahinda, how are you?
All right, Ashok. I'm okay. How are you, Ashok?
I'm still in Middlesex. I'm goalkeeper for Middlesex.
Middlesex. When will you become a male?
Middlesex.
You're either male or female.
Rohini, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. How lovely.
Hi, Rohini. Hi, Karu.
Yeah.
Hi. Who's that?
Alex.
Alex. Oh.
Yes, I can see Alex.
Alex and Nabil.
Okay, what's happening to the photograph session?
So the photographs will be circulated on our group chat. So
Hi, Devendra.
Teng.
Hi.
How are you, Teng?
Hi, Karu.
Good. Hey, long time, man.
Hi, Karu.
Teng, how
Hi,
are
Karu.
you?
Who's that? Moss. I see, Mr. Moss.
Neil, hi, Karu.
Who's that? Who's calling?
Hi, Karu.
Hi, Mukesh. Doc.
Hi. How are you? Good. I
Good,
like
good,
that
good.
smile of yours.
Hi, Mukesh.
Hi. Wonderful. Wonderful to see this. Well done. Very good.
So thank you, everyone. Have
Hi,
a great
Devendra.
weekend. Don't
Yeah, happy
forget,
birthday, Karu.
don't forget
Happy
to vote for Charlie for president of RSC when everything resumes.
Yep.
Yes,
Happy
Charlie.
birthday, Karu. Happy birthday.
We'll have more cricket on the
Happy
ground.
birthday, Karu.
Happy birthday, Karu.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you.
Happy
Have
birthday,
a good
Karu.
one.
Happy
Chris,
birthday,
you're on
Karu.
mute, Chris.
Thank you, Charlie.
Karu, where's the beer? Karu, where's the beer? Where's your beer?
Happy birthday,
Karu, where's
Karu.
your beer? Carry lah, carry
Let's
it.
have a cheers. Let's have a
Put
cheers
it lah.
together.
Cheers.
Put
Yeah.
it lah, put it. Put it, Karu.
Cheers, Karu.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Many more.
Charlie, cheers.
Cheers, Karu. Cheers. Put it on.
Cheers.
Put it.
Henry. Hi, Amarjit.
Cheers, Sita.
Cheers.
Cheers, Karu.
Thank you all once again. Thank you all once again.
Thank you.
It
Bye.
looks like nobody wants
bye,
this session to end.
Take care, guys. Be
Bye,
safe.
bye.
Yep.
Good night.
Stay
Take
safe.
care.
Be safe.
Stay safe, everyone.
Bye,
Good night
Devendra.
for organizing.
Bye all.
Hi,
Thanks,
Devendra.
David.
Thanks, David.
Thanks, David.
Well done, Amarjit, and thank you, everybody.
Hi,
Lovely
Dinesh.
to see you all.
Well done, David. Thanks.
Hey,
Bye,
hi,
Tang.
Iqbal. How are you?
Hi,
Yeah,
Ashok.
great show.
Hi, Tang. How are you, Tang?
Conrad, still trying to figure out. Oh, no.
Tang, you
stop.
cannot remember me, Tang.
Edwin, I cannot see you, Edwin. Why your
my
iPad
thanks.
so far away?
Can you
My room
remember
can-
me, Tang? Iqbal from Perak. Me, you, Ashok, Paul Kong, Woon, Karu. We all were in the same team. Tak boleh ingat,
You're on mute, Tang.
No, I think he's on, but just can't hear him.
Oh.
So Karu, the only one missing here is Paul Kong.
Yeah. Yep. Late Paul Kong.
Yeah.
Paul Kong is passed here.
Thanks, Amajit, for doing this. So Karu,
Yeah,
how?
man, wonderful. Good effort. Fantastic.
One bottle open already today.
Just starting only how to finish so fast.
Hey, Karu, I got Karu. A bottle
Ron
for
started
me.
again.
Where's the bottle for Karu? Karu, thank you so much. No, you've done it.
Thank you.
This is for you.
This one,
Yeah, this is for you.
wow. Thank you very much. Thank you. I shall
not open it.
Indulge. I shall indulge. It's got 2 glasses. I got to drink it with somebody.
Ron, is that?
I'll come later, Karu. Come later.
I think we need 3 glasses now.
Hey,
Cheers,
Karu,
Karu.
is that
Happy
Rohan?
birthday.
Karu, is that Rohan?
Yes, Uncle Ashok, how are you?
I'm good. How are you, man?
Good.
Been a
Ashok,
long time.
Ashok, he's about Ashok, he's about 2 feet taller than you now.
That's Ashok. That's Tang. Can you see?
Yes, I remember the Tang as well.
Tang. Tang, you remember my son Rohan? You can't hear you. You're mute.
Unmute.
No, I don't think he's mute. He's not using his but you can. Okay.
Hey, Karu, have you?
You tell
that it originated in the 1980s.
Really? Okay. This is a story for.
When he told me that the name of his company is Castle, I told him you're stealing it from me. That's my